bastard! You open this door, Kruger! What do you think I did? I didn't go in there!
It's FoRSaKeN again, with a review of everyone's favorite, lovable... Wait, never mind. I could see Freddy Krueger skipping, playing jump rope, and the description favorite lovable character would be the furthest thing from my mind. The character as a man or an invincible dream-walking serial killer fills you with indescribable feelings of fear and anger. It has always been so and remains true to the point in this film. While this feels like the 10th Freddy Krueger movie, it is a renewal of the series, starting from the beginning, which kind of seems to be the trend with horror movies as of late. We have the new Jason, the new Michael Myers. It seems that the first run-throughs weren't enough, and now they are going back to make the plots better. So, how exactly does the new Freddy movie pan out? Well, for starters, I felt like it was quick to the action in the first few scenes, but tapered down into a slow-moving story for about the next 20 minutes. No matter how slow the story felt, when the action finally arrives, it was definitely enough to make you forget about the previous 20 minutes. Freddy has always been the kind of guy who just appears in random places and attacks you in your dreams. But the new Freddy seemed to do this a little bit better, while at the same time demoralizing his victims. I felt as if this Freddy was much more in touch with his emotional side. Maybe he spoke to Dr. Phil, and Phil directed him to, his path of enlightenment or something. But this new Freddy was a lot more vocal. Well, my favorite part about this movie, though, is the fact that it finally tells you more background information on Freddy Krueger. I mean, in the previous ones, we know that Freddy was accused of something and that he ends up being burnt, but you never really understand why he is coming back after them. I always wanted closure on this situation, and I felt like this movie gave that to me. Let's talk a bit about the acting and the actors. Jackie Earle Haley has played in numerous movies. His best role, well, or at least the best known role, was probably Rorschach from Watchmen. Unless you can remember that he was, the stoned hippie with a serious case of sleep apnea who makes the full court shot for like $10,000 on Semi-Pro. Yeah, let's move on. Haley plays Krueger excellently. And as previously stated, he livens up the dark character quite a bit as well. A more vocal and demoralizing Freddy is a good Freddy indeed. Kyle Gardner is best known for playing the kid in the true story Haunting in Connecticut. And he plays one of the good guys in this film. He seemed to act pretty well. And he always seemed to act pretty well in the previous movies he was in. This guy is a star on the rise, and he kind of looks like a vampire in most of his off-screen pictures, and everyone knows the ladies love that. Look out, Edward Cullen. Rooney Mara. She's another new actor. Most horror movies are actually full of new actors, though, so I guess I shouldn't figure that this one would be any different. She has a few past roles in a few movies, but nothing too popular. I think she had a role in Youth in Revolt, but as I said, nothing too popular. This was actually the first time I had seen her on screen, though, and personally I think she did a good job. Sometimes it is hard to act out fear and the emotions required to make a horror movie, but she did a really good job. Let's talk about how I'd rate this movie. Horror movies are hard to pull off, and remakes of horror movies are even harder to pull off. That being said, A Nightmare on Elm Street gets a 4 out of 5 stars. The reason being, the changes were enough to keep me interested, and the increased depth of the background story information made this movie so much more worth it. In fact, I will even go as far to say that this is the best Nightmare on Elm Street movie ever made. And I'm always open to seeing the new Freddy back in action. This leads me to my movie question of the day. If you have seen this movie, tell me what you think of it. And if you haven't seen it, tell me if you're going to see it or if you don't want to see it. And then tell me why. As always, this is FoRSaKeN from OCD Techies. Comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.